Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me go ahead and put it on my trading view real quick. All right, boom. All right, good. Y'all see my screen. If y'all can't see my screen, if y'all can't hear me, just go ahead and like drop something in the chat or just let me know. I'm pretty much on Saturdays, I pretty much just like do like a little recap from the week on my perspective based off what I went through this week. If anybody has any charts or any pairs that they want me to go over, go ahead and drop it in the chat. But for the most part, I'm going from the start of the week to the end of this week, just based off of like pretty much what happened. The start of this week was, I think, the 9th. No. 13th. 13th, 12th. Yeah, it had to be like the 9th. Or something like that. Oh, let me be sure. Let me check just to be sure. It was the 8th. Oh, okay. The week started on the 7th. I'm tripping. All right. So, like, the 7th, right here. That's when the week started. Hold on real quick. Woo! Up. Put the light on. All right. No, they can't see me. Oh, well, that's fine. Anyway, early in this week, when we started off, the only thing I've been looking at this week was EU and GU. Kind of just trying to make sure I stay on one pair at a time throughout the whole week. So EU started off, there was like 16. You can see like the week started right here. That's when market opened last Sunday. I think the first trade that I actually called out, yep, this was the first trade that I called out early in the week because I already had the setup. And then when I hopped on Kirko Outlook call on Sunday, basically he confirmed this little order block right here. Most of this stuff is really advanced. So if I'm going too fast, y'all can definitely like stop me and just let me know to repeat something or whatever. So this whole little gap from Sunday to Monday, you can just tell like this was all consolidation. Like it wasn't, there was movement in the markets. Like a lot of people, they could call some buys or sales, but just not too much. It just depends on like what move you was looking at. So like this move from down here to up here, that was like a 50 pip, 40 pip move. And then like towards the end of the day, that could have been like a 40 pip move. So like not nothing too much. You probably just had to like kind of like really wait it out and see what was going on. Now Monday night, going into Tuesday night of London or Tuesday morning of London, I was already up at like 3 a.m. I was just up just chilling or whatever. And I seen that EU kind of squeezed into this little break about area. This whole little candle right here, that's kind of like the break about area for me. So I seen it squeeze in. I was actually going to set a buy limit. But since I was up and I seen it approaching this area, I just initiated the buy right then and there. That was the one I sent out earlier that morning. And I had my stop loss, like a nice little stop loss. I think it was like 20. It was actually 30 pip stop loss just to be safe. But you can say you could have did it for like 20 pips. Volume, you guys to go. All right, so I got to go. And I pretty much brought it up here for, I think for about like 80 pips. 80 pips was right here. And I brought it up here because you'll see back here, they're kind of like relative equal highs. But I'm speaking like back here at this little green dotted line. We'll change the color of that, make that a nice little blue. At the blue dotted line, I felt like price was going to come back and knock out those highs, and that's exactly what it did. So that was about, I sent it out twice. Well, I sent out 2 take profits, one for 50 pips, one for 80 pips. So that was about like a 130 pip trade. Pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. It took a lot of confidence just for me to send that trade out because I really didn't want to I didn't want to tell everybody to buy and it would have kept going down. But sure enough, it just kept going up. That was a real good trade. Plus on another standpoint, if y'all watch Coffee and Pips early in the morning, let me see if people got to come in. I'm tripping. All right, there we go. on the other standpoint, like early in the mornings, like sometimes I'm copying pips in the morning, we'll talk about the retail traders being caught in that 618 area. That's another reason why I sent this trade out, because under the 618, like this whole little area down below here, the 618 area is where pretty much where everybody was trading. And this was early Monday. On Mondays, the banks are not really in the market. The banks kind of just, they're present, but they're not actually in the market at all. Like they're just pretty much just watching. So you can see everybody that was trading under this little 618 area was eventually going to get taken out. Let's see right here. Yeah, you can see the 618 right here. You see everybody trading under it, all these buys and sells. Plus, at the time, I did see this high right here. I did see this high, and I knew it was gonna get taken out. But another thing that I seen too is so much resistance right here up top. If somebody was trading like early Monday morning, or like for New York or even for London, you could see like this area is basically like a whole lot of resistance in this area because it kept coming up to it too many times, and then it kept falling away pretty much. So that area is supposed to get taken out. You could have, smart money action, could put the eyes on top. That's kind of how I sent the trade. I put the eyes on top. I had like one little eye right here because those was highs. And then sure enough, Tuesday, like it came up and took all those highs out. That was a very, very, very nice trade. Very nice trade that I took out. So that was Tuesday. After that Tuesday morning, I was pretty much done for the morning because I had a couple other things going on that day too. So I pretty much like took my trade, and then that was it. I just took my trade and ran. So later in the day, I was getting ready for a sale. I was getting ready for a sale because the RSI was telling me that it's going to get ready to sell. Just the RSI. You see, like when it becomes like overbought, when it gets a little bit too high, then it'll technically get ready to come down. And I feel like it was getting ready to come down on the fact that this candle right here was my manipulation candle, because this was the last down candle before the aggressive up move. So what I done did, manipulation candle, I had my entry at the low, which was like right here, over actually the open of the candle. Boom, blue line. So my prediction, especially since I seen it come up like this and then fall down, I feel like it would probably take like one more little candle to come up and touch it, which it did right here. You see these two candles, they came up and touched it, and then it was starting to get ready for a fall. So it did fall down a little bit it fell down for almost like 20 pips. It actually fell down a little bit more for about like 27. But then you see it turned around and it just like turned the other way. I was cool when it was in blue for a little minute, but then when it turned red, I was like, oh man, it's all good. I also wasn't tripping because I had my stop loss pretty tight in because I wasn't expecting it to make a new high, because this was the candle of NFP week. I know a lot of y'all called that NFP sell for EU, or a lot of buys after the NFP day. But usually after NFP week, which is right here, price will tend to like stay in the same direction. So before NFP week, it was going up the whole time. And then after NFP week, I was basically expecting it to just continue to go down. But it just wasn't ready to move yet. So instead of it continuing to go down, it just kept going up. So my prediction was invalid. So I just pretty much like just threw the whole trade away. I mean, that's it. Like, I didn't have to really worry about it. So Wednesday morning, was this Wednesday? Yeah, this was Wednesday morning when I was trying to catch this trade. So I was just chilling throughout the day. Let me see. Let me throw in another line. 2, 3, 5. Okay, so like right here is when I started like my analysis again. This was Wednesday. Wednesday, I was trying to get my car worked on, and a whole bunch of other stuff was going on too. So I didn't trade Wednesday morning because I knew we had news Wednesday. The news was the federal funds rate. That was this trade that I sent out that I thought was going to be good. Turned out the other way. But I mean, like, I'm really not even tripping on that because it was just a lesson learned type of trade. I was trying to get in before the news, and that did not work out whatsoever at all. But I mean, it's all good. Early that morning, I knew the banks wasn't trying to like really do nothing tricky. They was just trying to like do their regular trades. But I wasn't waiting for like New York or London. I was actually waiting for the news at 1 o'clock. But for New York, like if you did trade EU for New York, that was about like 40 pips. You could have got like earlier that morning. And I mean, like, that was pretty much it after that. Like, it was pretty much like slow early Wednesday morning. That's why I wasn't really tripping. But I knew that news was coming out. And I seen how much structure was forming on the smaller time frame. Going to 15 minutes. Yeah, like right here. It was actually the 5 minute, but I'm leaving at the 15 minute. What I seen on the 15 minute, right before the news, this is why I thought it was actually going to sell. Well, I thought it was going to buy up to sell down. This was equal highs, relative equal highs on the lower time frame. You know, you could have threw the eye on there. And then these two candles was actually my point of interest. This last up candle for the down move, and then the top of this candle was actually my point of interest to get in for a sale. But you see, as soon as the news came out, it did not sell. It did not sell at all. It actually made a bullish move up. And that was confusing for me. Hold on for y'all. See if I can get in. All right. So it made this bullish move up. This was about like one. Let me go back to the hour chart. Till about like 1 o'clock. All right. So this whole candle was the candle that basically just did me all the way disrespectfully wrong. Anybody that was trading like before the news or after, anybody that was trading like buying before the news or selling after the news, automatically got wicked out. Like automatically got wicked out. And I should have seen it because these are equal lows, relative equal lows. And then back here, these are also equal lows. Throw the eye. And then I seen equal highs, well, relative equal highs within the 15 minutes. Plus these set of highs right here that wicked me out earlier Tuesday. That's another reason why I stay on one pair too, because like I'm basically going through my week, and this is everything that happened to me throughout the week. So this big candle, it took out all the lows to this left side, and anybody that was trying to sell up here, it took them out too. This is that's a shakeout candle, or like a spring. If you look at it from whack-off perspective, that's like a spring or a shakeout. And whack-off, I'm gonna get to it at the end and explain what that is. But basically, like I was trying to sell because I feel like since the news for the US dollar was gonna come out good, it would make EU fall. And that actually wasn't the case. I had my entry right here, but I had a 10 pip stop. I wasn't even tripping too much. Yeah, 10 pip stop loss. I didn't expect for it to go past those highs. And then I wanted it to continue its down move all the way to the downside. But it did not make its down move. It didn't continue its down move until like later on. So really after it made that big confusing little move, I was pretty much just out the market. I didn't want to jump back in and like make any like sudden movements. But that was just the move I was waiting on Wednesday. And then I'm gonna throw a volume in a minute. I'm gonna show you how like the banks are really like, you can really see when the banks are like present in the markets. That's why I try to trade just from like 7 to 10 in the morning, knowing that they'll be there. Throw out the volume. All right. So this was These bars from down here. This is from 6 all the way to 11. So you see nothing but like the banks are pretty much like right here from 7 to 10. But they're not, they didn't make such significant moves. Like the only moves they made was this little sell right here. So for me, this little sell, it was a bank sell. The banks just pretty much like came in. They got their little 44 pips or whatever, and then they dipped and ran. But I knew that wasn't the actual time that was going to be there because they had news coming out at 1. And you see that this 1 o'clock candle had a lot of volume in it. Within that 1 minute, within that 1 hour, the banks did so much moving. So like the only way you could like really caught that move is if like you was like really staring at the chart, like really anticipating the move, looking at it on a 1 minute perspective, so on and so forth. Go down to the 5 minute. Go back, go back, go back. All right, there we go. Now, even on the 5 minute, like you see, it's a very long wick. And this long wick happened right at 3 o'clock. So basically, like you had to like really be watching this on like the 1 minute chart or 5 minute chart to really catch this move, because the bank did it like so fast, so fast. Nobody was even ready for it. It was going up slowly. Did I flip? Hold on, let me flip it back. All right, no, there we go. All right, so you had to like really just be paying attention and looking to it and looking at this chart for you to understand that it was really just a bank move, because it dipped down too fast, and then right after that, it took off and went up. So they got in. Let's say, assume they got in right here. They took price down for like 40 pips, and then they took it right back up, and it went up about like 48. So unless somebody was like really like down here waiting for this move, you had to have some real, like, you just had to be looking at market structure and been studying the chart for you to see it. But this whole move from the down low all the way up was like an 80, 90, it was like a 90 pip move. So that was the bank's move for the day. It wasn't early that morning. It was rather just later in the day. But like I said, it's all good. You know, lesson learned for another day. The lesson I learned after that, just don't try to get in before the news. I knew the news was at 1. If I would have waited until like after 1, like 2 minutes after 1, and then got in for a buy, then, you know, I would have got some nice profit from it. But it's all good. Like I say, lesson learned for another day. So that was Thursday. I mean, that was Wednesday morning. And then after that, I was pretty much done. Now, Thursday, I'm back at work. Thursday, I didn't get in. I got in real quick, but then I got right out because, again, it was so much movement going on, and I wasn't too sure of, like, the move that was actually happening. So, let me see. This was, like, Asian session. This was, like, 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. You see it went down for, like, 60 pips. And then before London, it went up for, like, 60 pips. And then before New York, it went down for, like, 60 pips. And then for New York, it went up about 60 pips. So to me, like, it's just moving around. It was moving around too much. Like, that's a lot of consolidation. You definitely could have, like, caught some pips. You definitely could have caught some moves. But just not being too sure on, like, because me personally, like, if you're trying to swing for, like, 100 pips or so on and so forth, and you get your stop loss too tight, your stop loss can get hit, like, instantly, just because of, like, how fast, like, how aggressive it's really moving. So I think the only move I caught like a little 20 pip move. It wasn't really nothing too much at all. I tried to sell EU early that morning, but then I got stopped out. But it was all good because when the news came out later, I just got right back in, went up for like 40 pips. So I still ended up in profit for the day. Wasn't really tripping too much. Now Friday, let's see. Yeah, that was Thursday. Was it Friday? No, Friday was down here. Friday, I fell asleep. No, Thursday, I fell asleep. Boy, was just really, really tired. And then I woke up like around midnight. Yeah, I woke up like around midnight this night. So when I woke up, I seen that EU and, well, really it wasn't even EU. It was GU that I was worrying about this time, because I wasn't done trading EU, but I know GU had news coming out at 1 in the morning, and it was their GDP news. So that's pretty much like what I got in. I had got in just real quick, and then I got out because it wasn't what I expected. This trade, news came out at 1 in the morning, and it came out bad for GDP, and that's exactly what it was. So I got in at the exact top of the wick, and then I just wrote it down for about like 30 pips. But I took the trade like a couple of times. I took it like about 4 times. So I took them a couple of times real quick. Boom, get in, get right out. I don't trade GU like that, so I didn't know what was going on. Good thing I did get out, because you see, it was a big bullish candle right next to it right after that. Let's see, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, this is the move I called. It was just like a small little move. I wasn't really tripping too much. It went from right here, and then it went down here. Once I started seeing it turn back around and go up, it just started like going up from there. And I was actually kind of confused on it, because like, even though GDP news did come out, it came out bearish, it still made like a bullish move. I didn't understand it myself either. But I mean, like, now that I'm looking at it, you can kind of see nice little breaker block right here. A breaker block is when they just throw like a random bullish, or they just throw in like a random bullish or bearish move in the midst of like heavy trading. So you see, like, it's a lot of down pressure right here, which was early in the morning. It was early in the morning for New York the day before. So you see what's going down. But right here, it just kind of like stopped real quick. Then I'm gonna throw volume. I'll show you why volume is so important, because this breaker block happened on like relatively high volume when the banks are there. So this tells me that the banks, through this random bearish candle in the middle of a lot of selling, telling me that they eventually may go back to this area. So throw the ray right here, right here. So these blue lines on top of this breaker block, you see how it kind of like came right back to it, and then it fell from there. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't peep the breaker block. It was early in the morning. I was kind of tired. Don't trade sleepy. That's exactly why, because you don't see everything you want to see. If I had seen the breaker block after the GDP news, somebody could have took it down for about like about 160 pips. That was nice. I didn't trade Friday, because usually on Fridays and Mondays, those consolidation days, I forgot that the U.S. had news on Friday, and I didn't understand the news. But come to find out, I guess that news actually made like a very aggressive sell for GU, and it did it for EU too. But I mean, like I say, bro, I don't really be tripping. Like, it is what it is. I always say, this lesson learned for another day. Whatever trades you don't take today, you will make a bunch of money on soon or next week, or so on and so forth. So, GJ was there too. GJ kind of did me dirty. It didn't actually do me dirty. I got in too early. If I would have waited a little while, it would have been good. GBP, JPY. If it's still on here. If it's not, then it's cool. Okay, no, I deleted the markup I had for GJ, but it's all good. Gold was really, 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 really nice. Should have hopped in this trade. I marked it up because I seen a lot of people was talking about gold. A lot of people like to trade gold. I don't like to trade gold no more. I did when I first started. I don't, because gold has took so much money from me. Let me be an elite markup artist for gold, and then I'll be ready to hop back in these markets. But looking back left, I seen that this candle on the 1 hour, this was the candle that took out liquidity. I can say that because you can pretty much see like all of this resistance just in this small little area. Resistance is where you see like a lot of wicks to the upside, where price does not really want to like break. So it rejected a couple of times, and then it finally made this break on this 1 hour candle. So I'll mark that off, assuming that it'll come back to it. Now let's just walk down the lines. You see imbalance right here. Imbalance is like a gap in the market when there's like heavy selling, but you don't see no type of buying anywhere at all. So this is an imbalance candle. Something might come back to it. Relative double top right here. Equal highs. So I had this right here. I had this like a little bit like tighter on the inside. And then it made an aggressive move down again. Aggressive move up. It made the top right here. It made like a relative double top. So that's also resistance where price does not really want to come back to. If you want to see like what resistance really is, you can just throw like a whole bar like that. And then you'll see like as you go back left, you'll see like how many times it's rejected. Rejection is when like a wick touches it, but it doesn't like close above it or close beneath it. Then you keep going left, retail trader trend line. People that like to trade like retail, like trend lines and all the simple stuff, assuming that they was following the trend line, that trend line got broken. It did. Now this whole move, this whole very big bullish move right here was the same move that happened for EU on Wednesday when the news came out. And that was like a very like aggressive, like bullish move. So the same thing happened right here for gold. I didn't really pay attention to gold like this. I mean, I didn't, like it is what it is. But if I had paid attention to it, I seen this like a few days after it made this move. But you see pretty much like as soon as it wicked in, it was already like instantly in profit. It went back up a little bit more. But I mean, it's all good. It actually went back to the manipulation calendar that I marked off the first time. It came directly right back to it. And then it started falling again. But like I said, I don't really trade gold like that. That was just something that I just marked off. But since it was a nice little trade, you know, I'm gonna just keep looking into it because that was some strong little accuracy. But I'm gonna save that for another day. SPX. SPX made some crazy moves at the end of the day. I definitely wouldn't have expected these moves towards like the end of the day like this. But you see, like it pretty much like made a very, very hard fall. Today 13th, 12th, 11th. The 11th, no, when the news came out, that was the 10th. Yeah, the 10th is when the news came out for the federal funds rate. So that was this. That was this awkward looking doji. Price tried to go back up. It could not go back up. It's starting to get ready to fall. And you see like it did pretty much like fall for the rest of the days actually. This was Wednesday and then it fell all the way down Thursday. So this is saying that like a lot of stocks, a lot of stocks and bonds, they're pretty much like down like very low right now. So like on the investing standpoint, it's definitely a good time to buy, especially when they try to make this little correction up. This little move right here. You seen it try to like make its way up, but it's just not ready to go up yet. So it kind of like tumbled down and started falling again. So that was a strong little fall. And that was a strong little fall. It came back. It pretty much like came back to retest these like May lows all over again. I'm not too sure. I don't really trade SPX like that. I'm still looking into it. But as far as right now, like I think it's definitely like good for like buys to like start going up to the upside. But is the sell-off over? I don't think the sell-off is over. Thinking about like everything that's going on right now in the world, you know, a lot of people are saying that they're having fears of Corona starting to come back again, and that's what I'm hearing a lot too. A lot of people is like getting masks. A lot of stores like preparing to like close or like prepare or whatever. So you could see like a little bit more down pressure before it start moving up. Let me be more specific with this. I'm finna go over Bitcoin quick and then I'm done for the day. So yeah, that's why I expect for SPX. A little down move and then an up move. I don't really mark up charts on the weekend. I pretty much just like go through what I marked up throughout the week. I don't start my week again until like Kirko or Ray or whoever going over the market outlook for the weekend, which is Kirko. Whenever they go over that market outlook, then I'll hop in and like start marking my trades off all over again. But for the most part, I'm just like letting everything do what it do. So the dollar is cool. EU, that's better always, every day. But I'm gonna keep looking into it because I missed a lot of good like trades this week on EU. I'm trying to make sure I catch them again next time. GU, I don't really care for GU like that, but it does like hold a lot of good potential setups. But I'm gonna just cross this one out because I'm pretty much good with GU. Bitcoin is open on the weekends. If you do want to trade Bitcoin, then definitely trade Bitcoin. I like to trade Bitcoin, but I'm trying to find like when are these big moves. Like the same way we look for these big moves in Forex, I try to find them in Bitcoin too. So let's see. The thing about Bitcoin, what I noticed too, I'm gonna bring up volume again. When it makes these very, very big aggressive moves, it does it on high volume. The thing is, the volume, it doesn't work like in the morning time, you know the banks are there for like Forex pairs. But in the morning time for Bitcoin, they're not really present because the banks don't really, they trade Bitcoin. I'm not even too sure they trade Bitcoin. I don't really like look into Bitcoin like that myself, but just understanding that on this big bar at the bottom, it's a very big like aggressive Bitcoin move. And then the same thing for a sell. This very big white candle was a sell-off candle, and it happened on big volume. And then all these lines in between, these are just like consolidation lines. These are just like where there's like nothing. It's stuff going on. Like a lot of people are like buying these candles and selling these candles, but to me, those are not the candles I'm looking for. I'm looking for the candles that are really like I'm looking for the big aggressive moves. So you can see when I had the line at the bottom, it started like down here, and then that line eventually got taken out. Same thing with these. This is like resistance up top. Eventually got taken out, and then it made some new support. Eventually got taken out. Support inside support taken out. Resistance taken out. Resistance again taken out. All the support at the bottom. Eventually it came back and got taken out. All this resistance up top. I'll put it like a little bit closer. All this resistance up top. Eventually it comes out and get taken out. So it's a lot of like a little moves within Bitcoin. I'm just not too much like these moves that happen kind of randomly. Like this move right here happened at 5 o'clock in the day. You don't really even see like too many like aggressive moves or like this very bullish move. It happened at 6, 7, 8 in the morning on June 4th. June 4th was a Thursday. Again, that's a day that I wouldn't have even expected for Bitcoin to like really move. And then it kind of stayed the same the whole time. It made like a very big move down. It made like a very fake move down. And then it came back and actually made this move down. And then just kind of walked its way through. So I'm just like studying Bitcoin and just like really observing like how it's like walking its way through all these moves. It's walking its way through all of the support. It got broken. And then it took off and went up to the upside. That resistance up top got broken. Bounced around, came up, bounced around some more, bounced around, went down real quick, and then it just like bounced around. So it's doing like a lot of bouncing, especially with this move right here. This was the same move that we seen on SPX, the same move on EU. When it's like a big candle that took out a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers. So anybody that was like selling, let me throw like a little right. So anybody that was selling from that little baby blue line, which is this, anybody that was selling from that baby blue line, all got taken out. Anybody down here that was buying from that bottom baby blue line got taken out. And after that, I ain't gonna lie, after that move, I wasn't even too sure like how the market was gonna react because that was just like a crazy, like I've been trading for a little minute, and I never really seen like a big move that took our liquidity to on both sides of that. But after it did make that move, I seen it started doing the same thing again. It made like a small little support. It had like a little resistance up top. It got taken out, and then it started falling. And it fell all over again, but it fell on high volume. So I'm not too sure. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't really trade Bitcoin. I understand volume though. The only thing I can really say is like when volume is like steadily increasing, then it's a big chance for like a big drop, because you'll see like down here. Let me throw the little arrows down here on 1, 2, 3. You can see how like volume is steadily increasing for sellers. So that's saying like a lot of like big sellers are coming into the market. So, and as more and more sellers come into the market, the more the market falls down until this very, very big move fell. Now this buy up, I caught a little bit of this buy up. And then that was pretty much it. Like, I still didn't understand like what all was going on. So I'm not going to really trade Bitcoin today unless I see somebody else like really coming out with something. But if I can just draw some more support real quick, I would say this is support down here, because it's not really breaking below. It's kind of like staying within this range. I got support. I got some resistance up top right here because it is long wick. So I just expect it to kind of like stay within this range somehow, some way. And then by looking early this morning, it made another big bearish move real quick. But it wasn't nothing too major to worry about. So I mean, for Bitcoin, I'm just looking into this area. But as far as for like if it'll break out to the upside and then fall, or break out to the downside and then rise, I have no idea. The most I could probably say, I do want Bitcoin to rise. So if I could just just give a prediction based on what I'm looking at, like right now at this very minute, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna say that it'll eventually like break the support at the bottom, maybe like make like a very long wick, and just to go all the way back to the upside. But I don't really trade Bitcoin like that. I'm not even gonna lie. So that's just something to look into for the day. But other than that, whew, I'm done. Tired. I'm ready to take a nap, even though I just woke up. So I mean, that's all I got for today, y'all. That's like bottom line. Like that's it. We had a good little week. We're gonna have a better week even next week, and we just gonna keep looking into it for the rest of the day. You know, if y'all ain't doing nothing, you know, check out some more videos. Hop on, go live. I might go through. I was supposed to go to the trade out earlier today, but I ended up losing my wallet right before I left. I had to spend 30 minutes finding it, and I actually had to come back and look for it. But anyway, like, you know, if y'all chilling today, go ahead and just do your thing. I hope everybody have a good day. Stay sharp. Everybody stay safe. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all for hopping on.